Yes, sir. In the middle of the summer, it's icy cold in Indy. So as I sit here in a Scully, add on my scarf, and I will put on some gloves at some point because I'm telling you right now, the conversation between Jonathan Taylor and the Indianapolis Colts just continues to grow worse and worse. And I can't make this up. As you see, if you look behind me, number 28 right there, one of my favorite players, when I came up to the podcast area, he was on the ground. He had literally fell off the wall. Not the other guys, but him. So maybe that is an omen, but we'll get into all of that. Sammy, please start us up.
Turn up your volume. Because you're about to listen to The Sick Podcast. And Bill Show.
Intercepted! Marlon Jackson! Marlon's got it! We're going to the Super Bowl! We're going to the Super Bowl! Marlon Jackson with the interception! He picked off Tom Brady!
The sickest Indianapolis Colts podcast. It's gonna be sick.
It's going to be sick. Yes, it is. We're going to get right to it. Sammy, bring in the boys, please. Hey, fellas. So,
why didn't you tell me you're part Eskimo?
living in Indy in the middle of the summer, I hear it's pretty damn hot. But between the Colts and JT, it's pretty damn icy. So I sit here in my fresh JT jersey, and you probably can't see it on screen, but this is a brand new Jonathan Taylor jersey. Still had the tags on it. Was waiting to unveil it, debut it, whatever you want to say, during this year's season. But he might be shipped off somewhere, and I really feel like in the next 24 to 48 hours, that will be more clear than ever. And I'm just really not happy. I'm very sad. So I have to warm up tonight. I'll be sitting with all of my winter gear on because I cannot believe that we got that damn icy in our organization with our best player. But before we get into all that, let's start the show officially. The hammer has hit. The anvil is on. Damn, I'm hot already, but I'm going to suffer through this. I am going to suffer through this.
I got to adjust my mic. It looks like I'm fucking 2 feet tall.
You got to adjust your life.
My camera.
That's
You really do got to adjust your life.
Get your life in order.
All right, first of all, when you pay my bills, you can tell me how to run my life. Until then, zip it.
Okay, Destiny
Zip
Child. I will not be paying your bills.
Then you will not be telling me how to run my life.
Anyway, we got too much to talk about, and your bills are not on the agenda. So let's just kick the door open. What was it? 48 hours ago, 72? I don't know. The Colts said, hey, Jonathan Taylor, you know what? You can go and find you a suitor. Okay. So that was the message that everybody's Bleacher Report hit. Maybe that was Monday sometime. Yes, I think it was Monday sometime. So then, he's out trying to find him someone. The rumors are 6 teams are involved. 2 have really made offers. What are they? We don't know. Who are the teams outside of the Dolphins? That's really not confirmed either. But then today, the next piece of the saga comes out because it says, guess what, JT? You have till next Tuesday, which is 53-man day, to find a suitor, or the trades are basically stalled. Because at that point, we have to make a decision whether or not he's going to be on the PUP to start the season, which would absolutely shelve him for 4 weeks, or he's going to be part of an active roster and be able to start playing with the team. At this point, man, I'm just done caring about sides. I'm done caring about people who have been involved, that being, agents and owners and all that. I'm just like, what the fuck? How the fuck we get here? Excuse my language. Sorry. Fucking kid. I said it again. Omaha myself. Okay, here we go. But I cannot believe this. Like this really hurts as a Colts fan. This really hurts because we keep talking about the character of the guy and who he is and why we drafted him and what he's going to bring to the city. And I cannot believe this is who he has become, and this is what he now is going to be remembered as. And so for that, I can honestly say I am ready for either way. And I will kick it open to one of you. I start with the guy who can't get his life together. Patrick, how are you feeling? Will the deadline actually come and go, meaning he stays a Colt, or will he be in a new uniform before Tuesday?
Depends on those offers.
Oh, come on.
Honestly, it is the easy it is the easy answer, absolutely. But I mean, to sit here and try to predict what Ballard's going to do, I mean, my best case of that prediction is what's being offered, and if the offer's right, see you later, bye. If the offer's not right, suit up, baby. We got to play.
But okay, country. Now I'll kick it to you. But does he even play then? What do you think? If he stays,
The way he's acting and what he's portraying to the public, no. He
That's
still
fine.
claims that he's hurt. And I mean, as far as his trade talks goes, the Colts have obviously asked for a first round pick or multiple picks that equivalent to a first round pick, right? What was it like? Oh, almost the majority of the owner or executives, not owners, but executives have said lesser deals for him because of the way he stands right now with his, I think, like the money situation and his injury and blah 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 blah. But no, I mean, if he stays, he does not play. He gets put on the pup for 4 weeks. I mean, it's just that simple. As you want to be treated like that, you want to keep acting like that, you're going to be put on that pup list. It's just that simple. You keep failing physicals left and right. But I mean, if you do seek, you do find a suitor for yourself, and the words of Johnny Ringo, well,
here's something. Now I read this and it was pretty interesting. And because I had made this point yesterday and I had to read this article because it's just like, wow, I just said this and then somebody's trying to debate it. But basically, someone had written an article. Don't quote me on this, the actual source, but it says something along the lines that the Lamar Jackson situation and the Austin Eckler situation should not be used as comparison when it comes to the Colts allowing JT to test the waters in the trade. And the main reason behind that was because those two players were in some type of contract negotiations prior to being allowed to test the market, whereas it's been very evident, which is probably why JT was so upset, the Colts haven't even started a negotiation with him. Now, to me, and this is just me talking, but to me, that really isn't much. I get it. Maybe we had a few conversations about numbers and we weren't happy, so go find a trade partner versus we ain't said nothing, so go find a trade partner. That's neither here or there for me. The idea is I thought it was a play by the organization to really say, well, if you think it's 16 million, right? Because one thing that we have to clear up is the average for McCaffrey 16 million, but he's only making like 12 this year. Nick Chubb's only making like 10 this year. And actually, I think I read that Bijan Robinson had like the highest. He's getting like 13 million this year.
I was going to ask you that. Who was, because there was someone who had the higher one. That's who it was.
Yeah, it's Bijan based off of just how the numbers play. So on average, Christian McCaffrey was making 16, but he was not making 16 this year. He's only making 12. Yeah. So yeah. I say that to say I think it was a play by the team to be like, okay, well, look, you don't believe us? Let's see what others say, right? Which is almost like that open honesty, it's in my face now. Maybe we were wrong. So I say that to say, how do we move on from this? Let's say we are lucky enough, and I'm gonna use that word, to have it go just like Lamar, just like Eckler, and then it comes back, or he comes back. How do we as fans, how does the organization, how does JT get his status back? I mean, he wears the C right now. He's not acting like a captain. So what happens? How do we do that? Yes, Pat, go for it.
Once it happens, whatever happens, you stop right there because that's the business side of the game. Okay. So whatever business is done, it's done. If he signs, it's done. You leave it. You just let it go because that's the business side of what they do. Now, the game side of what they do, totally different than the business side. Okay.
Mhm.
If the Colts are able to calm the waters, get JT signed and happy, and he's back on the field, you just go with it.
Mhm.
If they can't and they end up trading him, you go with it. But that's where it stops, because that is just the ugly business side of this sport. But you
Okay.
just stop. You don't give it no more. You don't give it no more thought. You don't give it no more time, no more attention. Okay, it's done. Let's move on.
So we don't talk about character. We don't talk about none of that, because doesn't that set the precedence for, like, hey, well, you had a captain act like this. Let's call it now last season, and the new guy and the next guy and the next guy kind of fall in line, because Kenny didn't go this far. Kenny also wears the C. He didn't go this far last year, but he took it kind of to the max too. You know what I mean? So I'm like, this is back to back. What is this saying about the organization? If it's saying anything, or what is it saying about our players? If it's saying anything.
It
I think
it's
Ballard's saying patience. He's telling these boys patience. I mean, that's his big. That's his big thing. I mean, we hear it all the time. About from Ballard, patience, patience, patience. Especially with the fans, patience. It's just he says we're going to pay our guys. Pat's said this multiple times over. We're going to pay our guys,
Mhm.
but they're not. Again, the rambling about this agent thing. It's just like they're getting into their heads. They're hurrying a situation. Like, you're going to get paid. You may not be record setting, but you're going to get paid, man. Like, that's just as simple as that, right? So it's just play the game. Like, not only ironically, yeah, play the game, but play the game is in like the business game. Like, just roll with it. Just be patient. You got one more year left on your rookie contract. Who says that you weren't going to get paid at the end of the season or even mid-season?
But is it
Ballard's been
well, this is advice for JT. I think, Clyde, was you asking for advice as fans? How do we handle this going forward?
yeah, everybody? Shit, JT, us. I mean, the organization, like what? Everybody, because I think this is ugly, bro. Like, because of course, fans, we're gonna start like, being flapping heads. People already talking about burning jerseys. Everybody talking about his character. We thought he was this. He's not that. Blah 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 blah. But
Well,
then,
if you would rather burn $130 jersey than give it to charity or something like that, you're a dumbass. Yeah, but it's yours. Go ahead and do whatever the hell you want
yeah,
with
you
it. But
bought it, right?
it's my opinion, and my opinion is you're a dumbass. Give it to charity. Give it to somebody that's still a fan, somebody that's going to get some use out of it. If you don't want to wear it no more, oh well.
Yeah, I don't know, but I mean, for me, honestly, I think it's about what you said, Pat. Yes, you can forgive and forget, because nobody's talking about the Lamar situation no more. And then when it comes to the backs, this is the most ironic thing for me. Like, the absolute most ironic thing is that Austin Eckler seemed to be the head of this, and for the most part, he was one of the first ones of the running back core to go back, restructure his deal, and just shut up and color. We already know what Saquon did.
Mhm.
He was about to hold out. He did that for a couple days and then took an extra million. He's in camp. I hear that Jacobs may be coming back.
he did come back.
He did come back
He
officially.
did.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
they're trying to work him back into it. He did
Mhm.
Did
get
he
a new
get did he
deal.
get a deal, or did he
No, he
sign
just came
his?
back. No, he just
Nobody
came
got
back.
a deal. So I'm sitting there thinking, like, well, why the hell is Jonathan Taylor, of all of them, trying to be I don't know, the martyr, the leader, the face of it all? Like, why? And it's not like, okay, everybody did it, so let me just bow out gracefully too. But it's like, it's evident that right now the league as a whole has spoken. And this is
Mhm.
not the first time things like this have happened. I mean,
It's not going to be the last time
yeah,
either.
every player position group has went through certain things like this, right? But at the same token, it's like, why risk a reputation, parts of your career, and then still just be in this tug of war when you have a valued home here, right? Like, what this team can be, and what you are when it comes to the importance of this team. Why throw that away and be the last man standing of a group that y'all are all supposed to be standing side by side, arm in arm, and they all are back with their team? This makes no sense. Makes no sense.
Doesn't.
I just think right now too, like, kind of piggybacking what you said earlier, Clyde. I think also like the trade scenario, the deadline for Tuesday, the offer that the Colts want. I think it's to set an example. Like, yeah, go ahead, young man, go do your thing. You're not going to get it.
Yeah, and I think the Colts. I
And
mean,
they're just letting, they're letting him learn the hard way. Is basically what I'm saying.
right, which is that's because I think that'll piss him off even more, but it'll piss him off because it was like I think everybody kind of wants their cake and eat it too. So what I'm getting at is, hey, I want to trade, and they'd be like, okay, you know what? Yeah, you're unhappy. Let's do that and let's make it a good deal. But they're more so saying like, no, we value you, we want you on this team, and so without saying it openly, we're gonna make this shit difficult because people are posting something that's really silly to me. Oh, you don't want to pay him that much money, but you think you can get it first. No, clown. The situation is we don't want to give this guy up. So if you want to come in, don't come in with a 3 and a 4 and a 5 and a 7. You better bring your ass in here with big numbers because that's what we're giving up. We know where we drafted him is in the second round. So please don't try to use that. That's on the NFL. The NFL failed to realize how talented he was, no matter, what his stats were at Wisconsin. So we swooped in and got a steal. However, this is a first round valued person. And guess what? He's not going to come easy. So don't even try to lowball me with a fifth.
And he ain't going to come cheap.
It's just what I'm saying. No. Like, don't come in here with 4 picks from 4 drafts from now. Nobody cares about 2027. We want compensation for 2024 draft, and it better be in the 1 range. So everybody like, ooh. Plus we got to extend him. Ouch. Plus he's on the pup list. He hasn't passed the physical. Ooh. And so I think, like you're saying, all are hands down. So it's like you can go find your trade partner, but how you gonna sweeten this deal? And apparently his agent is one of the sweetest talkers. So let's see.
Well, and I really hope that it does piss him off, because if it does piss him off and he doesn't get picked up by anybody, he still comes back to us and he's still pissed off. Guess what that means? He's gonna play better. So once he's healthy. I mean, if you don't, then he's messing himself up. If he does it at that point, he's screwing himself.
If he finds a way to not play this year, that really wrecks him.
Oh, it'll
like taking a year off, like any position. And again, I can't fire this off the top of my head because I just don't know. But I would put good money that any player or position, let's just say player, any player that has sat out a complete year and tried to come back the next year and still think their value is that same is insane.
Le'Veon Bell.
But he didn't sit out a whole year.
Yes, he did.
Did he sit out a whole year?
Yeah.
Yeah, damn near it.
He damn sure did.
For real? He sat that whole last year out of Pittsburgh?
Let me go back and Google it up. I'm pretty sure he did. And then he signed with the Jets, and it just wasn't the same. And didn't get the money he thought he was going to get.
Yeah, we got to check that. We should have Sammy in the background. Sammy, check Pat. Pat's usually wrong, but that's neither here or there. So more to come in the future on the icy situation that is Jonathan Taylor and Indy, but I'm gonna stay bundled up because I'm telling you right now.
Can I lay something out there? I read today that EJ Speed had the same surgery,
and he's back.
Yeah, after season, and he's already back on the field in full speed. So when people say, "Oh, he's on the PUP list," oh, he must still be hurt. I don't believe it. I believe it's the smoke. Yeah, it's the smoke screen. I don't, so if say Miami is wanting to pick him up, he goes down there, he will pass the physical. I don't believe he's hurt one bit. I've seen him limping at camp.
So that's a character thing too.
Again, you're discrediting yourself,
and you're 100% right. That is a big character issue. Some bullshit like that.
Oh my god! Because they've talked about who did that? Jalen Ramsey. I was watching something. And it's like Jalen Ramsey kind of did that to get out of Jacksonville, and then did exactly what you said. Passed the physical, ended up with the Rams. All things well. So yeah, that's something to be like, yeah, because he's kind of doing that little my foot hurt walk thing. Yeah. I just don't believe that a guy.
There's got to be something in the contract that says that the organization, team doctors have the final say. Yeah, you can go seek treatment somewhere else, but our doctors have the final say. And if they say you can play and you say you can't, then we're fining your ass. And I think if there's no trade and he doesn't want to be with the Colts anymore, they're just going to fine him. If he doesn't play, they'll just fine the shit out of him.
So I think too, like it has to be something along this lines. Maybe and it's taken me a while to get to this place, but I'm like, perhaps he's so adamant about getting the payment now based on the fact that everybody has said, what do? Draft a solid running back, play him for 3 years, franchise him in year 4, then draft another running back, i.e. Saquon Barkley.
Yeah.
So everybody keeps saying, come out and play, show what you got, blah, 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 blah. But this has been the MO, right? The MO is get that franchise tag in your last year. So they own you, right? Because I mean, you ain't going nowhere once you get franchised. And then they play you for that season. And then you're optimistic. I'm gonna use that again for a deal. And then next thing you know, they're drafting your replacement, and you never got that big deal. So now
this
lottery.
This goes back to what Jim Irsay was tweeting about the CBA. When all this first broke loose and JT's agent was fighting back and forth with Irsay on Twitter, it's because he was saying they should have had different provisions in the CBA, and they don't. So to me, I look at it like the tax code. If you're going to cuss the rich for using the tax code the way it's written and getting out of paying taxes, and you want that changed, write your fucking congressman, tell him to change it.
Oh, come on, that's not fair.
But you see what I'm saying. To me, the organization is running within the confines of the CBA agreement, and if the players aren't happy with that agreement, then the next time it comes to the table, then that's when you change shit. You don't try to change it in the middle of the CBA.
But this is the problem with that, though. So CBA, I get it. It's good for 4 to 6 years or whatever the number is. But the other issue becomes that every year, whether it's inflation or whatever, all things increase. Salaries increase, salary cap increases. And so that number steadily changes for the most important positions: quarterback, defensive end, wide receiver, whatever. And it's like at some point, somebody has to, I guess, break the norm. And I think the Rams did that with Gurley. I think, maybe the Cowboys did that a little bit with Zeke. And it's just like, okay, it's not like this hasn't been done before, but the same token, why is it such a big thing? Like, you've seen what I'm capable of doing. So I really don't think so. So my thing is this, right? You signed your name to a contract, absolutely. But then take certain things out of it to make it easier. Take extensions out then. Everything is just a no kidding re-sign deal after the full contract. But the problem with that is teams will use it in their favor to save themselves money. You know what I'm saying?
Okay, then
they won't use it to help the player.
Then who's ever running their union needs to increase the tag.
But it doesn't.
Okay, like if we go back to the point that you made, I'm going to draft a young running back. I'm going to run the shit out of him for 3 years, and his 4th year, I'm putting the tag on him.
Right.
And then I'm going to start the cycle all over again. We've seen it damn near yearly in this league. So when they redo the CBA, they need to put in there, okay, well, if you're going to do this to our running backs, this is the minimum contract for a rookie. And if you tag him, this is the number, not the market, the average market.
But I think that becomes
for your number.
But that's the way the number's created. It's going off of average salaries, hence why quarterbacks are so high. Like, we paying Matt Ryan or whoever. Fucking Phillip Rivers got like 20-something million. Matt Ryan got some 20-something million. And those dudes, and I don't answer them, they wouldn't worth fucking $8 million. Maybe Phillip. Phillip took us to the playoffs, but Matt.
But they put it in the CBA that this position's tag is going to be this.
Yeah, because it's the quarterback.
Right. Then they need to fight for the running backs the same damn way and every other position.
That'll never happen.
Y'all going that
do you remember when the players went on strike?
Yeah, I remember when the players were. What, you talking about 86?
Yeah.
I was 4, but sure. Okay.
Okay. Well, some of us wasn't for. Some of us
You were.
I was-
got a
I
little
was
more
still-
dirt under their nails.
Did you go
I
try
was
out
still-
for the league?
I was
You get picked
I
up by
was
the
still a
Colts?
twinkle in my daddy's eye, boy.
Oh,
Okay.
Pat tried to
All
play for the
right,
Colts
first
in
of all-
'86. He was to go make the Vince Papale story, but it was Pat, the Pat door flying
But
story.
you see what I'm saying. If they can't sign the CBA because they're and that's what the union's supposed to do. It's
I get
supposed
it.
to protect these guys,
I
you
get
know,
it.
in a fair market.
But $10 million 4 years ago is much different than $10 million.
All right, then you need to have foresight, and you need to write it as, okay, well, this year it's this, next year it's this, next year it's that. Every union does that.
All right,
That's
Pat.
why when you get a new union deal, you get raises every year because they build it into the contract. Do the same thing with these guys. I don't get it. I don't understand what's so fucking hard about it.
Hey, but you
Because that
careful, we
doesn't
gonna-
work.
Pat's about to start a- Pat's
hell
trying
if
to
it
start a
doesn't work.
players. Pat's over
Because
trying
this,
to start a-
No, don't want a player strike, but they can.
because this is the problem, bro. This is the problem. And I'm sorry, but it's been proven strength are in
Boy.
numbers. And everybody will talk a big game, but everybody cares about their own small circle. So when I think about what I'm going to lose, then all of a sudden the cause isn't that great. But if every running back was like, hey, I really believe this, and one day I'm going to be that guy that's in that situation, and they all took a stand together, they'll probably get whatever the hell they want. Like, literally, imagine no running back on the roster showing, like, I don't give a shit. Find us until you want to find us, but you will have no running back on the roster, period.
There you go.
Then you will get whatever you want, but that never happens. Like,
Yeah,
'cause-
that's on them.
no,
That's on them. If you won't stand up for your damn self, why you expect me to stand up for you?
okay, Pat.
Well,
We
their
agree
agents
to
stand up.
disagree here. That's fine. Anyway,
There's no agreement or disagreement about
It
it.
is.
If you want to be treated better, you have union representation. Utilize it.
it doesn't. It so don't work that way.
Hey, easy.
Have
easy,
you ever been in a union?
For the
easy,
No,
Jim.
hold on, Acosta. Have you
Easy.
ever been in a union, Clyde?
I deal with the union every day. As in the
No, you
military,
don't.
we can't. Yes, I do, because I have contractors and GS. Well, I got GS employees that are unionized, and they just throw that word around like, "Oh, the union," but the union has limits too.
Okay.
And so, in a situation like
You
this,
deal with the union from the outside, but you've never been a union member yourself, right?
so you're saying everything that you want, you get from the union.
No.
Okay,
But I guarantee you, the unions that I have been in, the Steelworkers Union, if we went on strike and that place started losing the money that they make every day, yeah, we're gonna get what we want.
but that also says that you're all in, and that's it. If as a player that's getting paid right now, and I'm not in the position as JT, I'm like, ooh, I agree, but I'm still getting my paycheck. Now, when my time comes around, all of a sudden, now I want everybody behind me. That's the problem.
And that is the problem. But that is the people problem, not
That's what I said.
not what I'm saying.
Okay. And it's neither here nor there.
My thoughts are solid because I've been through this shit with unions before.
I guarantee you didn't have.
Acosta, are
friends
you?
who
I
owned
think
it.
are you union now,
Who?
Acosta?
No, government contractor. We're far from union.
Yeah. Ain't no union over here, big dog.
You're paying something because the post office is union, and
I'm
to
not
have
the post office.
I know, but to work and take postal jobs, you got you're
cares, bro? This is a football
you're
show.
getting extra pay. You're getting higher pay because of that postal union.
Okay.
Because they're allowing subcontractors to come in.
Jesus.
You're benefiting from that union. I'm telling you right now, y'all better open your eyes.
Easy, Jimmy Hoffa.
That's what I was like. We found it. Jimmy Hoffa is alive. He lives. Now he rapes and pillages the unions, but he's right there.
You better be careful before Jim Irsay puts you in a hillside, buddy.
Hey, that dude's in
That's
8
great.
foot by 8 foot by 8 foot concrete block under the Empire State Building somewhere.
You know what, man?
Oh,
The bottom line is, if these guys, and I wholeheartedly
That
believe this,
signals we're moving.
if these guys really want to get paid and really want to get taken care of, they're all going to have to stand together.
And this message is brought to you by the UAW, led by Patrick Dorfline. Find him on
I
Twitter.
was part of the UAW at one time. I was also part of the aerospace workers.
Anywho, anyway, there's a joint practice that's been happening the last couple of days
What?
because there's a game to be played tomorrow.
What?
And unless you lived under a rock, there has been some bad blood that's been reported out of the joint practice out in Philly. There's
What?
fights, people being called bad names, you name it. So, as you know, we do have a little bit of history with Philly going back to last year, because once they beat us on the last minute drive, Nick Sirianni looked at the crowd and was like, "That was for Frank." We all know that Frank was his mentor and his friend, and we had let Frank go a few
Mr.
weeks.
Sirianni can have that.
Oh my God. Yeah. Okay. Family show there, Patrick. I've already missed.
Sorry.
Yep. Omaha yourself.
All right, I'll block it out.
Yeah, there it is.
Does that work? That's for Mr. Sirianni.
So anyway,
little late.
as y'all wreck my introduction to the next topic, the bad blood has seemingly spilled over to this year in joint practice, and maybe it's just excitement. You know, players are ready to play this, that, and the other. But the game tomorrow should be pretty interesting. Can't speak for Philly, but we're supposed to play a good majority of our starters, to include Anthony Richardson, because our fan base lost it last week to not see him suit up. So, yeah, man, this is exciting. We all know how good Philly is supposed to be on paper. I mean, they have the entire Georgia Bulldog defense. Plus, they have Jalen Hurts and a hell of a receiving core, and they're just a solid team. So I think if they play 85, 90% of their players for a good half, that is a really good look at what we're going to be on both sides of the ball. You guys agree?
Agree?
Absolutely.
Yeah, man. So I think, honestly, right, that the chippiness and all that is just because the boys are excited to play. And, you know, joint practice brings that out of you. And I honestly think that, you know, it got probably blown out of proportion. It wasn't as if there was a brawl where people are now injured and can't play and, you know, whatever. It was a typical, you know, skirmish, I would say. But I like that we have that now. I like that we have that fire. I can't say that this team last year would have had that. We were so like a mixed bag of emotions last year. And I'm not saying somebody's going to let you take advantage of one of your teammates, but just to be in unison, right? Like something happened on this side of the ball. It was something that happened to Anthony Richardson. And then when the defense got a chance, like they brought that same energy back. You know what I mean? So it's like, hey, we seen what you did to number 5. And, you know, apparently Zaire took a little chippy shot at Gainwell, and Jason Kelsey didn't like that. And then Jason Kelsey, you know, Zaire, and that turned into something. Dio called him a bad name and everything else. But I love to hear it, even though we couldn't see it, can't find it anywhere. So if you see it, tag the anvil because we get to see it. But the moral of the story is I am excited to see this last preseason game because I really think we're going to get a good test. And I don't know if we have anything to do with how preseason goes as far as selection of teams, but I've liked our opponents. You know what I mean? The Bills, the Bears, the Eagles. I think those are pretty solid opponents based on, you know, what their team comprises. So even if you didn't get to see them last week in a full game, they did practice against them for 2 days, is my thoughts. So I think that was a good test. But yeah, man, that's my thoughts on it. I'll kick it to Acosta. How are you feeling about Anthony Richardson in the final preseason game and just the team as a whole going into cut week?
I really think Anthony Richardson's really going to see really now what the NFL is all about. You know, it's getting closer to the regular season. Like you said, most of the starters will be playing. Got a little bit of some heated tension going on. So, you know, they're going to be going a little bit more balls out than normal. So Anthony Richardson's going to get a really good taste of what it's like in the league. I still think he's going to shine. You know, he's got great composure. Our starters are going to look good. Hopefully our offensive line's getting their head out of their ass day by day. I hope. But other than that, man, yeah, I'm ready. This is going to be an exciting preseason game. I mean, if you really look at most preseason games so far this year, Clyde, it's been really exciting across the board for preseason.
I agree.
I mean, it's been pretty competitive this year. It really has.
it felt like this was like a lull year, right? Like I get it. Every summer is about the same. Of course, once the season's over in February after Super Bowl, you go through the long lull. But this one just felt longer. And I don't
It
know.
did.
I don't know why, but yeah, it was very exciting to actually. I remember when we talked a few weeks ago and it was the Hall of Fame game. And I was like, I don't give a damn. They're saying hike and throwing the ball. So I don't care I don't care who's out there. So, but yes, I have found myself tuning in to other preseason games when normally I would give two shits. But if it's on, I've been watching, right? Like I watched the Redskins and the Ravens on Monday night, and that
That was a
turned
good game.
yeah, it turned out to be entertaining, even though who gives a shits were playing later in the game. There was something to play for because I mean the Ravens had like a 24 game winning streak or something like that, and it finally came to. So yeah, I mean I'm excited. So with that said, Pat, how are you approaching tomorrow's game? It almost feels like week one in a way.
It almost does. And I'll go back to what you're saying, who we have played in our preseason games. One of the top teams in the AFC in the Bills, the top team in the NFC with the Eagles tomorrow. And then, of course, your lower tier with Chicago. So that is nothing but pure competition. And that is, we're going to see what these guys are doing real fast, real hard. Especially tomorrow with the tensions, like Costa was saying, because Kelsey came out and said, "Yeah, I was wrong. I shouldn't have did the cheap shot." Da, da, da. But they're still pissed.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, because I even seen one of the Eagle reporters or players in an interview saying they kicked our ass. The reporter asked about the fight. Yeah, well, this happened, that happened, da, 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 but yeah, we still kicked their ass. No, you didn't. Come on.
Yeah.
So like Costa said, there's going to be a lot of tensions tomorrow. So that offensive line better hold.
And I think that the change to the preseason a few years ago definitely put more emphasis on getting a better product, because you remember back in the day when there were still 4 preseason games, like the first really 1, 2, and a piece of 3, you were just kind of like filling out who's going to make the team, who's going to get cut. And then in game 4, all right, let's give me a real view of who to be on the team. But because they haven't played in games that are meaningful yet, that looks kind of sloppy. But we seen, I mean, first game against the Bills, they had their number ones out for everybody that was actually available. They had a couple people hurt talking to Bills, and we had our number ones out. Everybody that was available except for the few ones that were hurt. So that was exciting to see. Like, okay, damn, this is preseason 1, and we got, no kidding, like week 1 starters out here on both sides. So it's a good test. So Anthony Richardson, though he had some ups and downs in that game, he did get to test himself against their best, right? Like he wasn't having ups and downs against 3 and 4s. So that's the value of this 3-game preseason. And then I actually like the fact that they have now that extended rest, because after this weekend, they'll take a whole week and some change off and then come back, September 11th for opening. So yeah, I really like that. Like let them kind of rest up, get healthy, like throwing. So I like that.
I got a question for both of you. Have we in the past done joint practice at home and then we was the guest at somebody else's joint practice? Or is this the first year we've ever done something like that?
It's good.
Like we had, because I cannot remember that happening. We was either a guest somewhere or somebody was a guest here, but I don't remember both happening in the same.
Yeah, that's interesting.
Season.
I can't honestly speak to that. I'm honestly thinking it was just one. Like back in the day, I think you just had a joint practice week, but maybe you were trying to. I mean, and again, I don't know if they voted on 2 or whatever, because what's clear is just because it's a joint practice, the coaches still have, in my opinion, authority on whether or not this practice is going to go like that, because some have canceled complete days or cut it short because of chippiness or whatever and things like that. So it'll be interesting to see how they go forward. And then, we talking Pat and I had the pleasure of being guest to Mr. Adam Rank last weekend, and we didn't really get to, I wanted to expand on that question, because I was like, what is, I know the benefit and the value of it, but is it also a risk to have these joint practices because of that over aggressiveness, that eagerness? And you take situations like what happened with the Ravens and the Commanders when I think it was Andrew slammed one of their guys and separated his shoulder, and they had to like break practice up that day and things like that. So like I think it's a benefit. Definitely want to get a good evaluation of yourself against opponent, but at the same time, like sometimes it can be a little much. It's a lot of bravado out there, like a lot of egos and fights happening out and people trying to show like nobody's out here in UFC. So I mean, it might have been a couple punches thrown.
No, but I tell you, man, I like the fire. I like to see the fire, even if it's in preseason, a joint practice. I like seeing this fire. I like seeing this team rally around somebody that's in a firefight. Last year we seen Nick Foles go down and doing snow angels right next to him, and nobody.
And that's what I'm saying.
Nobody even looked. But now they're circling the wagons.
That's exactly
now we got a unit that is together, and that's good to see. And you don't see that unless there's these joint practices.
Yeah,
you can go to training camp, the whole time, and if they're not scrimmaging against somebody, they're not going to have those heated debates with their own players. Maybe every once in a while, sure, but it doesn't last long.
No,
with the joint practice, you clearing the benches when shit goes down.
Big facts. And I think that's where I was coming from at the beginning of this segment when I was like, last year this team was so all over the place that I don't think that and you made it clear because I completely forgot about that. But yes, when we played the Giants in New York and Thibodeau sacked Foles and he was jacked up, they let the man do the snow angels and nobody did anything. They went to Nick and checked on him, but like nobody was like, hey man, like what the hell? Like, what I mean? Which was wild because I get it. We were a shit show, but you still, protect your brother in that sense. So
exactly. I mean, now I didn't go past high school football, but the coaches I had, if something like that happened and I was on the O-line and I didn't go over and I didn't kick the living shit out of that guy making the snow angels, them coaches were kicking the shit out of me when we got back. I guarantee you that.
Facts.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, that's the way we played. That's the way our squads were always, hey, you guys are brothers. You're going to protect each other. You're going to bleed, sweat, and tear together. So when the shit goes down, you know who's got your back. Sure. Last year we didn't know shit. All right, but this year everybody's sticking together, and that's a damn good thing to see.
All right, so we're gonna do something a little different before we get out of here. So this is like
all your winter gear and 112-degree temperature.
Yeah, with a ring light on. I'm sweating to the oldies, like damn Richard Simmons. But it's okay. This is for the show, right? So I'm just letting you know, in the middle of summer, it can still be icy. So until this JT thing is over, I might be dressed like this. So hopefully it'll be done by next Tuesday. But anyway, so here we go.
Not my big ass.
As I throw my Snoopy scarf around my neck, or is that Woodstock? Who wears that? Is it Snoopy or Woodstock? I'm thinking Snoopy. Okay. I have to ask Sarah. She's smarter than you. But anywho, this is what we're going to do to get out of here. Yeah, absolutely.
Well, I concur too. So
this is what we're going to do before we get out of here. And this is the first time because, again, we've been podcasting.
I got an update.
What update? You going to read it?
Yeah. And this is from Schefter. Deadline. Colts have given Jonathan Taylor until Tuesday. Find a trade partner. 6 teams inquired about Taylor.
Where is this?
2 have made offers.
I'm about to Omaha the shit out of you. Hold on.
That's old news, Pat.
Well, it just hit my phone, so cuss my phone because I didn't see it until just now. Damn it.
Hey.
What? A bullshit?
Okay. All right. So here's what we're going to do to get out of here. This is because, again, we've been podcasting for a couple of years now, and it's the first year with Sick. So we can start a new tradition. So it's beginning of the year.
Oh, snap.
We're going to have the Anvil's message to the fan base for this season. Each one of us get to go. On the spot, no time to practice. Acosta, you're up first.
You're dirty.
As hell.
This is his idea. I guarantee he's been thinking about it for a week.
And
Stretch this out as long as you can, Acosta. We're gonna sweat him out.
I am sweating to death. All right, Acosta. Message to the fans for the entire season, and go.
For the entire season, here we go. Stay fucking patient.
Ooh.
Stay patient. Be kind. Got to be lenient. Got to be, but above all, come ready to go. It's still Colts football. We still have games to play. Come get ready to go. But above all, just be patient.
Just be patient. Patrick.
I just talked about how we were coached and how everybody is supposed to be family on a team.
You talking about you when you were playing?
When I was playing back in 1932
under Newt Rockney. Got you. Okay.
When he wore the leather condoms for a helmet.
That's what I'm saying. Leatherhead. But anyway,
I hate you both at the same damn time. But anyways, as a fan base, as a Colts fan base, have your opinion, but stick together. Respect somebody else's beliefs on this drama or that take or this or that. You can listen to somebody. You don't have to agree with them, but you can respect what they say. You might even learn a little something from it. But the most important thing is you're in blue, I'm blue. We stick together. The fan base and the organization has to stick together regardless of the drama going around, regardless of what you think the Colts should do with JT, regardless what you think JT should do with the organization. Those are all fine, and you're entitled to have your thoughts. But we must stay together. Stay family. Stay strong.
Patience. Stay together. All right. Clyde says this.
He reading notes, Acosta. I told you he thought about this for 2 weeks and gave us 2 seconds.
What are you talking about? I'm not. Where are the notes? Where are the notes? I got a prompter in front of me. What are you talking about?
We seen your eyes drift to the prompter,
bro. Anyway.
Okay, this is what I got to say.
Off the cuff, completely off the cuff. Here we go.
Don't let my scarf distract you from my reading.
Do I get my turn here? Jesus. What is wrong with this guy? Come on, man. I know you blocked.
Take a gummy.
I know you blocked for Sammy Ball, but give me a chance, bro. None of us seen him play but you. Give me a chance, old man. All right, here we go. So, new system, new coaches, new players, new year. Optimism outweighs pessimism. So what I'm saying is people are saying we're going to go 4-13. People are saying that Anthony Richardson is going to be a bust. People are saying that without JT, this team is nothing and our receivers aren't good and our defense has still got holes and all this other stuff. You can fall into that trap and already come into a fresh season when we're 0-0 and already think that we're going to be a lottery pick team. You can watch football, cheer for your team, and know that there's ups and downs. Even the Kansas City Chiefs last year had moments like they were like, ooh, that looked rough. But they ended up, knowing what, winning the Super Bowl. Because guess who they lost to last year? They lost to the Indianapolis Colts. And that was probably the highlight of our season. Because we beat the Kansas City Chiefs with a team that honestly probably shouldn't even been on the field with the soon-to-be, then-to-be Super Bowl champion. So I say all that to say any given Sunday. So just remember that optimism outweighs pessimism. Leave all the negative shit behind. Comment like Pat said after the game, and then rinse, repeat, start anew, because you're going to have a brand new game the following Sunday. So that is my message to the fans. That is our message to the fans. We got one more preseason game, and then we roll into our Lucas Oil Stadium on the week 1 against our hated rivals, the Jacksonville Jaguars. The Forge tailgate will be out there strong. I can't wait.
Full force, baby.
Days away. And with that, Sammy, I am super hot. Take us out of here, please.
And that's a wrap. Hope you don't miss us too much until next time. Follow the Sick Podcast and Bill Show on YouTube, Instagram, Facebook, Google Play, and Apple Podcasts.